It's winners and losers time from week 2 of the NFL preseason for the Miami Dolphins. They technically go to 2-0. Can't lose, won't lose for Miami. But on today's episode, I am going to go through who I think performed well enough to get a winning grade and who didn't to get a losing grade. We're going to talk about 8 specific players on today's video. I am Nic Rohloff. Welcome in to Dolphins Today. The first winner has to be no one other than Tua Tagovailoa, the QB1 for the Miami Dolphins. He only played one drive, and it was all I needed to see for the entire preseason. I do not want him to go out there and play in the third preseason game, and I don't think he will. Coach Mike McDaniel simply doesn't often play starters in the preseason. This is what his philosophy is, but Tua pined to get some game action, which I did want to see. I thought the first-team offense should at least get some reps together in a live game setting that actually means something with pads and a normal warm-up, and they went out there and performed exactly how you'd want them to perform. Tua Tagovailoa went 5 of 5 for 51 yards and a touchdown. In that drive, included a couple fourth down conversions, one 4th and 1 at midfield where they just handed off to Raheem Mostert, who also looked pretty nice in this game. But then the other one, 4th and 2 at the 16-yard line, and they just run a little slot fade to River Cracraft, and he scores a touchdown, and Tagovailoa throws an absolute dime that River Cracraft, give him credit, he stacked stacked the DB, and then kind of gave himself a couple yards to the right its boundary, and Tua dropped it right there so Cracraft can go over the shoulder, catch it, and keep his feet in bounds. Tagovailoa looked sharp. He was decisive. He was accurate. He was in full command of this offense. And now you start pouring in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle alongside some of these other weapons that Miami has. Oh boy, this team is going to be dangerous. The person who caught the touchdown from Tua on the opening drive is a winner as well, River Cracraft. Now, I do want to mention he did leave the game after the first drive with an injury. He seemed to get a little banged up on that touchdown catch and did not return in the game, but hopefully it's just a minor injury because Cracraft looked really, really good in this game. He caught on the first play for the Dolphins offense to a little motion, play action, quick dart for 6 or 13 yards over the middle of the field to Cracraft, who was filling in as the wide receiver 1 with Tyreek Hill and Waddle out. And then obviously, as I mentioned, caught that fade route to put the Dolphins up 7-zip on their first possession of the game. I said before training camp began that I was very intrigued at the wide receiver position battle for the Miami Dolphins because I believed River Cracraft, Eric Ezukama, and Taj Washington were all going to battle for the 6th and final roster spot because I believe Malik Washington, Braxton Berrios, OBJ, Waddle, and Hill were locks. I still do believe that, but I actually think River Cracraft might be more of a lock on this Dolphins team than Braxton Berrios. Now, Berrios is not off the roster, in my opinion, or outside of the bubble because of his special teams value and Eric Ezukama's inability to stay healthy and really not flash anything too crazy, and Taj Washington being on the season-long IR. But Cracraft's a winner because after how him and Tua look together and how Cracraft has had a strong training camp and a strong preseason thus far, it feels to me that he is a lock to make this Dolphins roster on 53-man cut-down day in 10 days, so I feel pretty good about River Cracraft being a winner. Mohamed Kamara is also a winner. The 5th-round rookie from Colorado State played really, really well today, and I was impressed with his motor and his first game action as a Miami Dolphin. He totaled 2 tackles, a TFL as well. He played really well, and you could have credited him for a sack, but they ultimately decided it was a QB draw from Jeff Driscoll. I like what I saw from Kamara, man. He's just got a really good work ethic, a good mentality. He plays at 110% on the football field. I know that's a cliche, but it's really the God's honest truth. The one play that stood out to me that wasn't even the big TFL, that was a sack, whatever you want to call it. They ran a screen pass to the outside, and initially, Kader Kohu, I believe it was, missed the tackle on the outside, or Serrano, I can't recall, and forced the wide receiver, though, to take 1 second to come inside to make the corner miss. And you know who flew out from the middle of the defense to make the tackle on the screen wide receiver? Yeah, it was Mohamed Kamara. This guy plays at 110% at all times. His motor is undeniable, and I think he is going to be a really good 4th, 5th edge rusher in rotation for Miami this year. And if he's called upon, if injuries occur throughout the season, I think Kamara will be able to answer that call and perform pretty well on Sundays. All right, we still got some more winners and losers to get to, but what was your biggest takeaway away from the second preseason game of the Miami Dolphins? It's hard to not take away a Jonnu Smith, a Tua Tagovailoa, as that first-team option looked really, really sharp. But let me know your biggest takeaway in this game. Cam Smith makes my winners list. And you might be thinking it's a little odd. He did leave the game with an injury, which we'll talk about here as well. It happened in the fourth quarter. It was on a special teams play. He grabbed his hamstring as he hobbled off the field. Hopefully he is okay. We will update you with any more news on Cam Smith's injury if anything comes in on the second-year corner. But after missing the first couple weeks of training camp, he really needed to come out and perform this week. I thought he played well leading up to this game. And he got off to a rough start in this one. He got torched by Terry McLaurin twice. And yes, Terry is probably a top 15 wide receiver in football, and it's no easy assignment for Cam Smith left on an island. But Jaden Daniels went after him. On the first possession of the game, Cam Smith got targeted 3 times on that drive and allowed 2 completions to McLaurin, including one on a key third down where McLaurin little fade, stop, hitch route, caught it, made a miss, and then ran for another 10 yards after the catch. Like, he was really, really getting cooked by McLaurin. But the remainder of the first half, he played terrific. Had 3 or 4 really strong tackles in zone coverage where he dropped back a little bit, kept everything in front of him, dropped it off to the slot or the flat for a wide receiver or running back. Cam Smith comes up, makes the tackle, and was really physical. And I really liked to see that in that with how he was tackling. I really enjoyed that. But he also had a really nice PBU down the sideline where they threw it one-on-one on him. Smith was running in lock with him, stride by side, and did not get too aggressive, a little handsy with that right hand, but stayed up, tracked the ball, and then swatted away with his left hand on a really pretty PBU. I really liked what I saw from Cam Smith today. Hopefully that injury isn't serious, and he continues to stack good days. Marcus Maye is the final winner we're going to talk about here. There's probably other players that we could have mentioned, but I enjoyed Marcus Maye and what he did today for the Miami Dolphins. He was terrific. He actually led the team in tackles with 7. He had 5 tackles in the first quarter. He was really aggressive at the line of scrimmage and coming downhill from that safety spot. I was really excited to see that. And for a veteran who has been up and down at times in training camp thus far, signed super late. I think he was just signed, I forgot the exact date, just a couple months ago. Like, there's no guaranteed roster spot for him. Now, it was projected that he was going to get one, but I think after this performance, it would be hard to leave Marcus Maye off this roster. I think your safeties are starting to become very, very clear. Poyer and Holland are your top 2. I think Marcus Maye is your 3rd guy, and I'm confident in having him be that. It's all about who ends up getting that 4th spot. Will it be Elijah Campbell, who played pretty well, or will it be a rookie like Patrick McMorris? All right, we got losers to talk about here in just a second, but we do have to let you know about Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market, and you got to play them every single day, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, fighting. It doesn't matter. Prize Picks is the best way to watch sporting events, and you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Signed up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. You can highlight any different stat projections. You can go season long in football, season long in basketball. You can take daily stat totals in baseball and pair them up with season long totals. There's golf. There's every type of sport you need. Prize Picks will have it. I play it every single day, and I've shown you my picks prior with more than Tua Tagovailoa passing yards, more passing touchdowns, more than Bam Adebayo rebounds. I love pairing up season-long projections across different sports, and you can get a first deposit match up to $100 when you download the app today. Use code CLNS, or you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS when you create an account to get that first deposit match up to $100. First loser of 3, Skylar Thompson, the backup quarterback for Miami. And I honestly probably could have put Mike White on here, but I'll focus on Thompson because I was less impressed with him today than Mike White, because Mike White was kind of dealt a bad hand here. Chris Brooks left with a severe neck injury or head injury. I don't want to speculate too much, but he did look a little wobbly coming off the field. And with Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert out, Jalen Wright inactive, Jeff Wilson inactive, Skylar Thompson, Mike White didn't have a quarterback or running back, my goodness, to throw and run the ball to. So he had to just drop back and throw it almost every single play in the second half. So I give Mike White a little bit more slack than Skylar, who ended up going 8 of 15, 61 yards, a QB rating of 63.5. He just was not good. Missed a couple throws that I thought he should have made. He had the good, nice earshot to Devon Achane down the sideline in a cover 2 beater for a nice little 26-yard pickup. But outside of that one throw, Thompson was very, very unimpressive. Not a fan of what I've seen from him so far in camp. Honestly, I don't think Mike White's been that much better, but I think he was a little bit better today. Just like Skylar was a slightly better last week. I think the Dolphins still have a backup quarterback problem, and I'm just going to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray that Tua Tagovailoa does not get injured, because if I have to watch Skylar Thompson or Mike White play in the regular season, I'm going to blow a gasket. Well, during those regular season games, we'll be live for every single one of them. And we also have daily Dolphins coverage. Make sure you subscribe to Dolphins Today. We are 36 subscribers away from 58K. Let's get there today. If we get there today, I'm doing a beer bong on Monday's show. Hit that sub button. Let's get to 58K right now. We need to do it. I think Kendall Fuller is sneaky a loser. Listen, he only played 1 and 2 drives. Nothing crazy. I can't wait to see the PFF grades and the actual tracking stats, but I feel like Kendall Fuller got beat a couple times in this game. I know on the first possession of the game, the first third down Washington faced, they just ran a little hitch route at Fuller, and they completed it right in front of him, and Jane Daniels kept on moving those chains. Like, I don't think Fuller is bad by any means or anything like that. I've been very high on him, and I do actually believe that he's going to be an upgrade over Xavier Howard from a year ago. But Kendall Fuller did not have the best performance today, but we're also not asking him to be a cornerback 1. We're asking him to be a CB2 opposite of Jalen Ramsey. Final loser is Chris Brooks, the running back. And listen, it's unfortunate to label him as a loser, but he got a pretty big injury, man. We mentioned a little bit earlier that he ended up, like, I don't want to say it's a concussion because it's not confirmed, but it certainly looked like a concussion, man. He got hit really, really hard in the head by a shoulder after a 59-yard run, and he was on track to be a massive winner in this game. But the fact of the matter is this is a competitive RB room, and I've projected Chris Brooks to make this roster for about a month now because I think Jeff Wilson's a cut candidate due to his cap space, and I don't really think there's a spot for him on this team because why would you keep him for a 4th RB? You have Wright, you have HN, you have Mostert. I only think they're going to keep 4 running backs. So to me, I think it was going to go to Brooks, but if Brooks has a pretty gnarly concussion, is out for 2 weeks, and can't participate in practice, how is he going to showcase to this Dolphins front office and coaching staff that he deserves to be on this roster? It's a disappointing thing to see, but this injury by Chris Brooks only makes it more likely that he is going to be cut. I don't think that is guaranteed he will be cut, but all I know is that this injury kind of makes it more likely, and for that reason, he lands on my loser list. All right, that's going to do it for today's show, winners and losers. If you have any issues with what I have to say or just want more Dolphins coverage on a daily basis, follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. I tweet Dolphins highlights as well from the game, so if you want to stay up to date on everything Fins, follow me over on Twitter.